Good afternoon, it's just gone 2:30 Eastern time and I'm done trading for the day, and I'm going to go through my trades for today. Another pretty decent green day, trading my Apex funded accounts. I think I may have said previously today I traded 14 different accounts, and all you need is a small gain, a small movement in the market, and spread the risk over 14 accounts, and that's a decent green day. So I'll just go into my levels. Going back to my hourly from the pre-market video I did live this morning, I chose levels. The levels I was watching was, the bounce off of 47.85. Let me just open up my trade. Just move it into the new screen. Hang on, here we are. So it's the 16th today, and my notes are there. So just to confirm, so this is TradeViz I use, real decent online trade journal. I use it for logging my pre-market ideas as well, and probably one of the cheaper ones out there, and probably one of the most features. And in fact, if you go look below in the description, you can get 15% off as well using the code below. But the main reason I use it is because it makes everything really easy, keeps it all together. So these are the plays I was watching. I was watching 48.05 for a bounce. Break and retest long, which will be this area here. That's with a higher trend. I did take that earlier, which I'll get into in a second. I was watching 47.86, this area here, for a bounce, which is what I did take. And then there's a few other levels, 47.77 down here for a bounce. We didn't get down there. We might be starting to get down there now. And then a few reject areas, so it would be 48.30. We've not got up to these areas, 48.23, 48. We're not up there yet. So the area I was watching really today was this area here. That was my main area. I said in my pre-market video, I'm watching for the pre-market lows and the pre-market highs, and the pre-market high was around here at 48.12, that area. I think 48.05. It's easy to see it in my 5-minute chart, so let's go into the 5-minute. That's where I took my trades. Yep, so here we go. So market opened, we saw it push up, and although it wasn't in my plan, I decided to go long with the momentum as we pushed up, and obviously it pushed up, couldn't hold up against the VWAP and rejected, so I stopped myself out at the bottom of that candle there. I was quite strict on my stop. I think my entry was about here somewhere, and so that was my first game. That was a stupid trade because it wasn't even in my plan. My plan was to take the break and retest off pre-market high, or the bounce at pre-market low, and we'd already come down there once. We've already been down there in the pre-market today, so that was a rubbish play, and I disappointed myself that I took it. The last 2 weeks, in fact for the last month, I've been so patient with my trades. I've been waiting for the price to come to my levels, and my levels were there and there, and I've not taken anything in between because there's no need to. And I don't know why, I just decided to think, I was listening to somebody on YouTube at the time who also went long, and I think it just threw me, and I went, right, I'm getting in. Didn't even think about it, just got in. As soon as it came back, and as soon as it broke below that candle, I was out. Bad trade, and I knew straight away, as soon as I took it, I shouldn't have taken it because it wasn't part of my plan. But what was on my plan was this level here, and this level down here, so 47.85 area. So go back to my plan. 47.86 for a bounce. So I had my order in place at 47.86, 47.85, 75. I think my order was sitting there, and it started coming down. I saw these big candles selling off, and I got a bit nervous, so I took out my order, and I wanted to wait for confirmation. And so what I did instead is I was watching the 2-minute chart. I still only make my entries on the 5-minute chart, but the 2-minute chart I just use it to refine my entry. So as it came down into there, I saw this topping tail, and I saw extra volume coming in on this bottom candle here, and as it came down it was like a reversal candle on the 5 minute as well, and as it came back up again, so I waited for it to come down, for it to come back up, and then on the next candle I went long at exactly the same level. Basically I got long in the same place I had my original order, but without the drawdown. Instead of it coming down against me for a bit, I waited and for it to come back up. It reopened, popped down a little bit, then on the way up on this candle is when I got in. So I was in long, literally at the bottom of today. And I kind of fumbled my exits really, because my target was VWAP, and so my first out was on the 50 moving average, and that's good because I'm trying to play major moving averages, but it's only a sideways moving average, and on hindsight now I only want to get in and out on moving averages what move like that, not sideways. So I got out there and I was looking for an add, and I didn't really want to add, and I saw it pulling back, and I should have added but I didn't. And then so I got out as we came back up to this area again. So both my outs were just before the VWAP. In fact, the VWAP on my platform is in a different place. I don't know why. And I had this conversation today. MES 5 minute 9:30. So the VWAP on my platform was down here. So I'm not sure why it's different. I need to look into that. It's not usually it's identical, but that's where the VWAP was on my NinjaTrader. So I got out on the VWAP there, and I got out a second time as it came. I didn't want it to go against me, and I got out just there. And that was my two outs. So I had a stop just here on this trade at 9:30. Where was it? 9:30 down here. I had a stop, and then I had this winning trade, and that's all I needed. I did consider getting back in again, and I could have kicked myself because this is just a typical first pullback, bull flag as well, and I should have got back in where I got back out with my stop. And I'm trying to practice holding a runner longer, and I didn't hold any runners. I just got out for profit. It's Monday as well, and I just wanted to put profit on the table. I just want to see today end green, so I was out, booked my profit, booked my green day. And however, I did wait for the break and retest of the pre-market high, and I took a break and retest of that. So I went back in long. Again, I didn't get in the exact place I wanted to. So this is the area I was really focused on getting in. But my actual entry, again, I waited for it to come down, come back up, and my entry was at 48. I think it was around about 48.06.50 or something like that. Might have been a little bit higher. And I got out just up here. So I had a nice little move there. So my move today was from here through to my VWAP on NinjaTrader. So that was my move. This was the move today, and a little move up there. What could I have done better? I should have held a runner. Maybe I need it. I was only playing 2 contracts down here. I need to be more confident with my levels, even though pretty much my levels work 95% of the time. I should be very confident, but I always have this. I have more green days than red days. In fact, last week was all green days. I think I've only had 2. I've had 2 red days in this entire month, and I know my levels work, and I still don't feel confident sometimes. And I think I have fear of losing, which having mainly green days doesn't make you have this fear of losing, and I didn't want to lose again today. And even though I knew my stop was there, I still only sized up in proportion. What I should have done is got in with my 2 contracts down here, my initial entry, probably took one off there, which is what I did originally, and then added when it came back down. So on the 2 minute there wasn't really a good add, probably about there when it broke above it, so I would have added back where I got back in, but that's fine. I could have been back in with a full load, and I could have just taken another one off then at the VWAP or this VWAP or the today's high, pre-market high, and I could have held a runner for it to break maybe the 20 moving average, this moving average here, so I could have got back out there. So it doesn't really matter. Even on the pullback, I always contemplated holding a runner if it breaks the 50 moving average, but you know, it would have come all the way back against me, and there wouldn't have been no point, just extra stress. So I'm still working on this. I think the best exit plan on the runner is to trail the 5-minute 8 moving average. You see, we would have got out there. That would have been my out in the end. But that's when I got back in for that little scalp at the end, you know, for the break and retest. So should have been an ad. Maybe that should have been. That should have not. Sorry, that shouldn't have been a target or a exit. That should have been an ad. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, that was it. Decent day. I don't know what other stocks are doing. I know Qs or Nasdaq was looking strong at one point, and that's pulled back a bit. Still looking a bit stronger. It's looking stronger. It's looking much stronger than ES. Let's have a look at the 5-minute. Yeah, it hasn't broken the low of today, but ES has broken the low. It broke it a while back. There you go. So it's a bit weaker. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's have a quick look at oil. I talked about this trend line earlier. It's come back in, touched it a few times. So that's looks like it's putting in a bit of a bear flag. And then gold. It's broken down through that area. We were there earlier watching, broken down for that area. Now it didn't bounce. So not much on gold at the moment. Once we get back down to here. Possible inverse head and shoulders setting up. Interesting. M2K's broken that trend line. This trend line here. And it's broken that pivot as well, looking pretty weak. And there's no real volume coming in as well, so there's not even ending volume. If you look, we're pushing down, but the volume's kind of a bit weaker as well. So we're looking for a big volume spike if we're getting this end of a run down. And it's definitely lower than Friday's and Thursday's volume at the moment, but that's still only halfway through the day. And Russell, looking where he's broken the pivot now. So this is a potential break and retest short if you believe it's going to continue being weak. So it's broken down. If we come back up here and retest, I think we did come back and retest it. So maybe that trade's gone on the hourly. It's got this gap to fill as well, so I think this is going to be a decent area to watch. Exactly where we are now, that area there, and let's see, that's based on that pivot there. Look at that, we touched it as well. So if we fall below this area, we've got a gap to fill, so maybe look for some shorts, a break and retest short or something, or you could be looking for a possible bounce. But if you can see what I'm seeing on, this is the hourly, you've got the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and notice the left shoulder and the right shoulder are lower than the head. So this is possibly setting up for the break and retest off the neckline. So one to keep an eye on. I think this is not a bad trade actually. Right, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and I will you'll get notifications of my live pre-market video tomorrow where again I'll go through these levels. As I said, they are pretty accurate. I think every single trade last week 100% worked, and the only time I only get red days is when I don't follow my pre-market plan and I start playing around with fabricating my own moves, my own trades, or like today I went with momentum, thinking I was going with momentum, but it stopped me out. But the levels just work, and they have worked for a long time. So tune in at 9 AM Eastern Times or 2 PM here in the UK, and I'll go through my levels live. Okay, thank you for watching.